Ladies and gentlemen, it's Preacher!
I'll be back.
Let's talk about the big fucking elephant in the room. It's not even an elephant anymore, it's got its own goddamn website. HeroicStrike.org spammed at me for the last couple of days. There's a multitude of issues coming back. There's a weird thing going on in Warlords of Draenor right now. One, it's a fucking awesome game. It's absolutely amazing. The first bit, the tiny piece, the sliver of content we've been given is ace. Absolutely fantastic. No major complaints from me, and you know, I want to find the stuff that we can talk about that say, well, this might need fixing, this needs looking at, this isn't quite developed yet. We want to talk about those things. We want to talk about the positive and the negative. But so far, the game was great. It's really damn good. But big negative feedback coming back from classes, which is the different way around. Usually, it's a lack of content, I don't really like this, blah, blah, blah. But, oh, my class changes are really cool. I'm getting something solely fucking awesome. The changes they've made to my class are excellent. I'm getting more. This is really the first expansion where they're taking away. They're saying, no more. We're pulling it back. And at the moment, that's falling squarely on the shoulders of the warrior. But I want to go on record here. It's not just the warrior. It's not just the warrior. The warrior's taking the brunt of the rage right now, pardon the pun, purely because it's obviously the most messed up. It's the one that's really down the rabbit hole, that's got big issues. Blizzard's come out with big retorts like, look, this is what we're aiming for. We're trying to get there. Give us your feedback. But I've got to tell you guys right now, this is affecting a hell of a lot of classes, but they're slipping through the fucking fingertips because warriors have it so bad. A lot of melee have big downtime now, whereas previously, not so much. A lot of people asking me about classes during the streams and whatever, and I'm saying, yeah, it's fine. It's a little bit slower. It's been my general feedback. I've noticed myself saying multiple times when asked about questions, it's a little bit slower. Windwalker monks are a little bit slower now. They've slowed it down. DKs, both Frost and Unholy, now have downtime on a pretty regular basis. I play Hunters, and Marksman in particular has a lot of cast time where I'm just not pressing anything. And I consider extreme cast time to be anywhere between 2 and 3 seconds. That is a long time when playing a game not to be doing anything. Rogues have this downtime built in, but it's masked because most people are leveling, and you've got spells like Marked for Death, which hide and conceal this slowdown, this actual lack of being able to do anything. But once that stuff wears off and you're fighting a boss mob and that, you feel this downtime slipping in. Ferals are currently getting away with it because Clearcast is broken. Currently on the WoD beta, Clearcast, as soon as you get the proc, which gives you a free ability, actually isn't being consumed, so all your abilities are free. Let me tell you, when that doesn't proc, which is rare, you have huge amounts of downtime. You're sat there waiting for that energy to slowly rebuild to pull off big spells. This is happening everywhere. Healers, the big feedback I've given on healers so far is they are way slower. They've got rid of a lot of the button mashing. They seem to feel that the button mashing was not well received. Was it causing too much server problems? I don't know what the reason is. But they've added back in a lot of cast time. Get rid of the instant cast stuff. We want to slow it down. We want to pull it back. Some classes have got away with it. They seem to have been untouched, and so far, easily the most fun I've had. Ret Paladins don't have this issue. They have enough spells to cover the downtime. It just doesn't exist. And surprisingly, as so many people were surprised today, Enhancement Shaman so far is one of my most fun specs I've played on WoD so far. Why? Because they don't suffer from any downtime. They're furious. They're action-packed. I'm doing something all the time that's not complicated. I can easily roll through it, and it's fun. It's fun. So we'll look at the warrior in particular. Heroic Strike. The removal of Heroic Strike has been met as the biggest problem. It seems to, in the eyes of many of the players, this is the biggest culprit that has caused this issue. With warriors right now, Fury or Arms. Okay, Arms has received its changes. It might be more to come, probably is. But at the moment, we have this huge problem with warriors where we either have full rage or no rage at all. When we have no rage, we just can't do anything. We have to wait. This is a big problem with Arms right now. We just have to sit and wait for something to happen to give us rage so we can pull off spells that don't make any goddamn sense. We've lost our bleeds. We've lost our overpowers. We've lost our rends. We've lost our heroic strikes. We've lost so many spells that we've had since vanilla, and what we've been left with is this really sort of boring, press whatever's on cooldown if I happen to have enough rage, and if I have the rage, then I might press something else. And you sat there, and I played it, and I showed people, I was like, look, I'm waiting 2 seconds here. Hit a spell, I'm waiting 2 seconds here. Hit another spell, oh, another one's off cooldown, fair enough, compress that, now I'm waiting the 2 seconds again. This is what's happening with Warriors right now. With Fury, we're either at full rage or we've got no rage, and it's just nowhere in between. This resource is just going everywhere, and it makes no goddamn sense. Why is Heroic Strike taking the brunt of the blame? Because Heroic Strike is what we pressed when we had too much rage. It was off the global cooldown. We didn't have to wait for a goddamn thing. If we could press it, we can press it. And we're doing stuff in between pressing other stuff. I'm managing one thing with one hand while doing something else with the other hand. And that feels like I'm playing. I'm interacting. It's intuitive. It makes sense. I'm involved. I'm making something happen with my character. Take away things like that, and I'm just waiting for the cooldown to come back. I'm just sat here waiting, hoping patiently that in a minute I'll get to press something. And these 2 seconds, these 1.5 seconds of not being able to do something over the course of 5 minutes, adds up to a lot of me just sat there going, I'm just auto-attacking right here. I'm a warrior. I'm a level 90, 92, 100 warrior who has defeated the greatest gods in this game, and I literally have no idea what to do with my weapon. And it feels ridiculous. It feels crazy. It feels like I don't know what I'm doing. It feels like I've been given this giant weapon and I don't know how to put the bullets in. That's what it feels like, and that's why it's not fun. Blizzard doesn't seem to get it right now why people are moaning about Heroic Strike. Heroic Strike is just the example. It was off the global cooldown, it would compress it. And many warriors, many warriors can remember a time where we only had 2 DPS spells. People are calling back to say, you're not doing it right. Don't add more spells in. We want to go to a time where, yeah, it was fine that we had a few major DPS spells. But we also had something else that was really fun and furious and was actually really simple to deal with. People are asking for a return to sort of Wrath of the Lich King Warriors. Let's talk about that for a second. Wrath of the Lich King at the beginning for Warriors was horrific, really bad. A total mess. Only worked with bugs, with crit and deep wounds that made sense. And that was only if you managed to get it right. But then gear improved. But what buttons did we have? Fury was the main DPS spec for the most of Wrath of the Lich King. We had Bloodthirst and Whirlwind, and that was about it. That was about it. It wasn't until around TOC, if I remember off the top of my head, that we actually got Blood Surge, which gave us the ability to slam 3 buttons. And you know what? Warriors never really complained. Why? Because we swam in rage and we were every microsecond spamming our Heroic Strike button. We were whacking the fuck out of that boss. We were kicking its goddamn ass from here to Kingdom fucking Come all the time. And it doesn't matter how many main DPS spells you've got, as long as we're doing something all the time. Even if it's not even a great bonus, the spammy, furious nature of it worked. It was fine. We only had 2 buttons, eventually 3, but we also had this 4th button, which did some nice stuff, and we could switch it up between cleave. That was our decision-making process, and Warriors were fine with it. What we have now is this jumbled mix of the resource doesn't make any sense, and people are asking, why does the resource have to matter, Preacher? Wasted resources is a nightmare of any DPSer who is worth his goddamn salt. If you know how to DPS, wasting resources is your absolute nightmare. A rogue who caps his energy by pressing something wrong will kick himself in the ass for that. I should not have done that. I have capped energy now. That was energy that could have gone on a Sinister Strike. It could have gone on a fucking Mutilate. It could have gone on something that did more damage than what I just did. Bastard. I messed that up. I messed it up. And Warriors right now just don't have that management. We either just have to wait or we have to do something. How do we fix this? This is the big issue. How do we fix this, and how do we fix this for other classes? I really do think we need to rethink this idea of slowing everybody down. Why slow us down? Why not get people to catch up? We've got to take that at some point, that interactive fun gameplay isn't waiting 2 or 3 seconds between spells. That's not fun. That's just waiting and then a lot of planning, and frankly I don't need that amount of time to plan what my next spell is when I've only got 4 buttons. I just don't need that amount of time. I really don't. If you're going to give us rage, make it mean something. If I'm at full rage as a warrior, I should be able to do something. They tried things like inner rage in the past. Didn't quite work. Didn't quite work. People used it, but they had cancel auras on top of it and all that kind of stuff. Maybe we do more damage with more rage. That really won't work either. I'm telling you, they've tried it. It doesn't really work out in practice. What does work out is us being able to fight against the rage bar. That's what warriors want, and it's what other classes want. I want to fight against the generation of my resources. I want my character to be literally trying to make me waste resources so I can do something with my keyboard and my fucking mouse that makes me fight back and say, no, not today. I am going to use these resources. I'm going to fight against capping that. And if it's a slight damage increase to spam the arse off a button, or just to make sure that I'm planning my spells correctly, then that's fine. When you take that away, what we're left with is just boring. I've capped rage now, but there's nothing I can do about it. So I can't really be mad, but I am mad because I shouldn't be in this position. I shouldn't have to wait and sit around with my big sword waiting to wonder what I can press because I can't press anything. Because all my spells are on cooldown. That's no fun either. They're either too expensive or they're on cooldown. That's no fun either. I can see why people are pissed and Heroic Strike seems like the simplest solution. I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine with going back to a spamble Heroic Strike. You know why? Because it was fun. It was fun as shit. It was really cool. I'm not asked about the rest of the stuff. I'm not bothered. If we have to keep Wild Strike forever, fine. I'm not bothered, but it's boring. I get that. It's boring, but if you're going to give me Wild Strike, don't make it so it's just full rage and I'm just spamming it away and there's other spells to press at the same time. It just doesn't make sense. Our entire resource system as a warrior right now just makes no sense. It doesn't seem to work at all. It's completely broken. I would want the class to be trying to give me too much rage, but Blizzard gives me a way of ensuring that I can fight back against that. And that's what I want to do as DPS. I want to fight against my character who's giving me all these tools and I'm trying to fix the job. It's just throwing resources at me and I'm trying to get the job done. That's what I want from my class. That's what we seem to be missing. Is Heroic Strike the solution? Perhaps. But we need something. Because so far, we might mess this up. Blizz might mess this up. Warlords of Draenor is looking awesome. But the things people play are all coming back negative. Because we're taking away. This taking away aspect is really going to hurt launch. I'm trying. If I do a class overlook, I'm telling you, look, this is pretty cool, but you've lost something. Everybody's lost something and not gained much. And that's hard to put a good spin on that when I know it's a good game. It's hard. I'll keep it honest as always, and I'll tell you if I don't like it. But God, it's tough at the moment. Alright guys, see you later. Bye.